All right. Good evening, guys. How you doing? Quite a few of you on here already. So let me know if you can hear me clearly in the chat section, please. Thank you. Hey, guys. Yes, I can see some questions and some comments in here already. All right. Before we get started, there is something that I need to kind of flag and bring to people's attention. Because something was brought to my attention late last night or early hours of this morning, about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm going to say this so that you can hear it straight from my mouth and not from anybody else's. And I've said it before on the channel. If there are more and more accounts pretending to be me on YouTube and certainly on Instagram. So I'm going to share with you an account at this point in time that is currently live on Instagram that is pretending to be me and offering people the opportunity to trade crypto. This is the account. Now, they've gone through a lot of trouble to basically upload 392 of my 400 odd videos on Instagram, and they are messaging people, asking them and giving them the opportunity to trade crypto. If you are following me on Instagram, do not send that account any money. Okay, please do not send that account any money at all. On my stories last night, this morning, I posted that it's not me. He even had the goal to message me to say, I'm just going to use you to make a quick bit of cash. So if you're on Instagram, don't respond to this account. To be fair, he's gone through a lot of hassle because he uploaded all of these pictures and all of my videos literally started about 3 days ago. And like, these are stuff that I posted from back in 2018. Around about that period of time, basically. So he's gone through an awful lot of trouble to get all of my pictures, all of my videos. And I think he's buying followers to make it seem authentic so you can match my follow account. But guys, what you're seeing right there is not my account. It's Conversation of Money with 2 T's. There is only 1 T in Conversation of Money. So please be vigilant. Do not send this account any cash. If I just click on this one right here, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this was actually uploaded 2 days ago. All right. This is a video that I posted that would have been back in 2018, roughly. So you've heard it from the horse's mouth already. Guys, please be vigilant. Please do bring it to my attention as well, as and when you find these things. You could do me a huge favor in reporting the account if you do come across it. That's the only way that you're going to get Instagram to take it down. I'm in conversation with them to try and get it taken down right now. I've got to go through a couple of steps. They don't make it easy. And obviously, as you know, it's not easy to get a blue tick either, so that people actually know that they're speaking to someone genuine. So don't go and send the account any money. If I'm not recommending providers specifically, I'm not going to recommend that you go to a trading service of any kind. So, and I'm not going to be asking you to message WhatsApp numbers either here in the UK or in the States or anywhere else on the globe. So please be careful. Right, now with that out of the way, let's get on to the topic at hand. So I consistently have to keep asking myself whether I am doing more damage than good by having the videos that I've got on my channel. That is a prime reason why I feel that way. And I feel that way because of the fact that too much information can be bad and too little information can also be bad. And over the last maybe 4 to 6 weeks, I've had a few people that have contacted me and said, you know, I thought I knew what I needed to know, but as I've delved deeper into this subject, I'm even more confused. Or actually, what I thought I knew, what I was confident in knowing that I knew, is nowhere near what I needed to know to make an informed decision. And so with markets being as they are right now, I mean, markets are an absolute mess. As you guys know, I'm participating in a trader challenge in collaboration with Stake. I mean, yesterday I chose 15 stocks because I thought I'd be able to diversify, be able to get a number of those in the green, more than the green than in the red. I'm looking at this right now, and at the moment I have got 2 companies in the entire tech sector out of the 15 that I've chosen in the States in the green. too. Now, if you're a first time investor, it is really easy to look at this and start to panic and be like, oh my God, what am I doing in here? The market is extremely volatile. And I am extremely concerned for first time investors because you guys have been sold the dream so far. Many of you guys have never been through what we're going through right now. And this isn't even bad, right? This is just volatility. This is not a market correction. This is not a market crash. And therefore, it's very, very easy for you, if you're just starting out, just getting your feet wet, to start panicking and start thinking, I need to cash my money in and cash my money out at a loss potentially. And as you know, if you've listened to me, you listen to the podcast enough, and you've heard me listen and answer to questions, you should never cash in your investment at a loss if you can afford not to. And so I thought I'd do this video just to do this live stream, just number one, to have a conversation with you guys, and basically ask you to remember some really fundamental key things. Let's just go back to basics. Let's forget about all the hype, all the nonsense that people have been spouting for the last 12 months, because the stock market has been going great and everything's been in the green and people have been getting dividend payments. I mean, where are the dividend payment reviews now? Well, all of these ones right now, yeah? Let's get back to basics and really get back to, right, what should have been your starting block when you started on this journey to invest? Okay, I really want to focus on this and get you to remember, because as things get more and more difficult, and look, at the moment, the stock market as it currently sits is a mess because of potential inflation increasing in the United States. The Fed not really saying much about what they're going to do in terms of trying to rein back inflation. They're talking that their policy is to leave things as they are until 2022, which is next year, meaning that if there is inflation in the meantime, they don't plan to do anything at all. If you don't understand what inflation is essentially the cost of things going up around you. Now, let's look at it in terms of the context of what we've been through the last 12 months, particularly in the United States. Country has not been working at maximum impact, as you know. A lot of them have been getting stimulus checks, $1,400, $1,200. Now, if inflation were to increase in the United States, it means that people are going to need more money because the cost of things around them are going to increase with inflation, which means that people who may have been sitting on cash, who for no fault of their own have invested in the stock market, because that's been the best place to be over the last 12 months, because let's face it, interest rates are absolutely shocking. You can't get a decent rate in a savings account. Bond yields, bond returns are also just shocking as well. So where do you go? It's like a perfect storm. The stock market seems to be the best place to go. And what that has done is it's created this bubble that everyone has been speaking about. The market bubble. Is it going to burst? Now, when you think of it this way, if the cost of things around you go up and you've got money invested in the stock market, you're going to potentially need that money. And what you're essentially going to do is cash in your investments. And this is what we're seeing in the markets right now. We're seeing volatility because of the impact of the prospect that there is potentially going to be higher inflation here in the States. Now, Jerome Powell, who the Fed, he hasn't been very forthcoming in terms of what their stance will be. He said last week, and watched some of the videos and read some of the commentary, was their official policy is they're not going to do anything until 2022, which means they're inviting on inflation. They're happy for that to happen. That's going to have an impact on the stock market. But how bad can it get? Honestly, if I knew that, I would be a trillionaire, because I would be able to make investments historically at the right moments and at the right times. The reality is we don't know how bad it could get. It may continue to trade at these levels, be a little bit volatile, or it may, in fact, dip and crash even further. We don't know. What I want to get to at this point is that first and foremost, I really, really hope that no one has opened an investment account purely because they've been told that, oh, stock markets are going to go up and stock markets go up forever. I really, really hope that nobody has done that, because there is too much, and this is not just YouTube, all over social media, people talking about how much money you can make when you invest in the stock market. Yes, you want to make money when you invest in the stock market, but that's not the leading argument. That's not the leading reason. That's not the leading consideration when you invest in the stock market. The stock market is a volatile place. The stock market is where people lose money. Stock market is also where people make money. So your stance when you go into the stock market should be, how can I make money whilst managing my risk so that I have more chance of making money than losing money? If you fail to take that consideration into hand, and you simply went with the lowest cost provider and under the guise that you're going to make a ton of money really, really quickly, then likely right now you're hurting and you're panicking and you don't like what you're seeing. This is what I'm going to say to you. Right, listen, the market is as volatile as it will always be. It will always go up. It will always go down. The only thing we can't control the markets. We can't control the macro factors that impact the market going up, share prices going up, the economic factors, the global factors, the regulatory factors. We cannot, as individuals, impact or control any of those things. What we can control is the level of risk that we are willing and able to take when we invest in the stock market, i.e., we try to stack the odds in our favor. And if any of you have gone into this investing with the mindset we're going to make a load of money without doing any research whatsoever, particularly if you're buying individual shares right now on free trade or trading 212 or stake or orca or whoever, you really need to make sure that you sit down with yourself and revisit why you did this in the first place. And hopefully it's not just to make money. So obviously this year I started off with, you need to essentially, when you begin investing, be very, very clear on what your goal is. And if you are clear on that, now when the markets are down, people are losing a little bit of money and there's potential for it to get worse, you will cue in to, this was my goal. I'm investing because I want to buy a house in 6 years' time. So this is just the blip. Or I'm investing for XYZ purpose. This is just the blip. If you came into this purely because you thought you were going to make a lot of money over the short period of time, which is what everybody seems to be talking about right now, you're going to be extremely disappointed, because guess what? We don't know how bad this could get. We don't know how long it's going to last for, but I can guarantee you one thing. There is a lot of uncertainty out there at the moment. There's going to be a lot of volatility. And with volatility comes risk and opportunity. So the first thing that I'm going to ask you, every single one of you watching this, is, number one, were you really clear on why you began the investment journey in the first place? If you're not, you need to get really, really clear. If you're investing just to make a load of money, well, I would say it's not a very good goal to have. But with that, are you accepting of the fact that in the meantime, you might have to take a hit momentarily, and it may take a while for you to increase the value of your investments to the point where you feel satisfied? The second thing that I want to ask you guys and get you guys to realize is this. Do not, under any circumstances, come into investing saying, I would like to achieve X amount per year. You don't get to control that. You just don't, unfortunately. You don't get to control what investment returns you achieve on any given year, regardless of whether you're using active funds, whether you're copy trading someone, regardless of whether you are using passive funds, index funds, ETFs, whether you're buying stocks individually. You don't get to decide what your returns are going to be. And too often I have seen people coming into this conversation saying, I want to achieve 10% per year. And they're not willing to budge on that. 10% can be your target. 10% doesn't mean that that's going to be your actual return. So please understand that the level of risk that you're willing to take and able to take is directly correlated with the amount of returns that you're potentially going to get. Really, guys, if you're just starting out, you won't know this, but with my experience in the industry, I can tell you this right now. If you're looking for 10% plus returns a year, then you need to be a very adventurous client, like a very adventurous investor. Most people who I do coaching with come out as a balanced investor. Returns for a balanced investor Today's day and age would be somewhere between 4, maybe 7% if you're lucky, if you're using index funds. But most people, majority of people, are balanced investors. Balanced investors, not adventurous where you'll be getting that 10, 15%. Now, there are index funds that you can choose that potentially will give you the ability to earn those kind of returns. Vanguard, S&P 500, those kind of things. But the point is you have to be willing to take the level of risk and actually acknowledge as well that that is not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time for you to be able to get the returns that you're looking for. Your account is not going to blow up and balloon overnight and be a millionaire. If that's what you want, then you need to start trading crypto and doing whatever you're going to do. And even with that, you need to take it with a pinch of salt, particularly with people who are, offering cryptos under the guise of being me right now on Instagram. Why do you think this guy is doing that? He's taken the trouble of uploading 360 odd of my videos and pictures because he knows that people are falling for this absolute nonsense, guys. The dream of being able to make a ton of money on Dogecoin. This is what it gives rise to. And I'm not being funny, and I don't care if this offends anybody on YouTube. But the guys who are selling the nonsense dreams need to stop. They need to quit right now, because what happens is people get hurt. People who don't know any better get hurt. They get scammed for their money. They go into ventures they would never normally go into because their rational part of their brain would never allow them to. But guess what? No, we're not thinking rationally, because the lead thought is, how much money can I make? I want to be a millionaire overnight. I'm not saying that you can't be, but you have to be very, 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 very careful. And this is the reason why I will not endorse things like Cash FX. Why I will not endorse going into, Telegram groups where they're talking about trading all of these coins without you really understanding exactly what it is that you're doing. If you're happy to throw your money away, that's a completely different thing. But if you're coming into investing, and investing is my game, then you need to have a reality check around your expectations. Because if nobody else is saying this on YouTube, I'm saying it here and now. And it needs to be said right now, because the markets are going to be very, very volatile moving forward. And you're going to have a load of people trying to push even further the dreams of millionaire status because of cryptos and all this kind of stuff. And I'm not saying that can't happen, but you need to know what you're doing. Okay? So first and foremost, why did you do it? Are you clear on your goal? That's the first protocol that you need to come back and revisit. First and foremost. Number 2, acceptance that you don't get to dictate the returns that you achieve on the stock market. It's not down to you to decide. It's not down to you to decide. The markets decide. You cannot influence the markets. Okay? You need to understand that. Number 2, hopefully if you are investing, you've listened to a ton of my videos. Maybe at the beginning of this channel, you listened to the podcast and you've got the foundations in place, okay, that I always talk about. Number 1, you have to be good with money in terms of you're getting paid, you're not living paycheck to paycheck. You're investing money that you can afford to lose. That isn't going to significantly change your life if you were to do without it. The second thing on the basics that you absolutely need to be mindful of is this. You should not be investing in the stock market if you don't have an emergency fund. If push comes to shove, everything goes to pot. Where are you going to access cash? Are you going to have to access your investment now when the markets are down and take that hit? The first rule is you never cash in your investments at a loss if you can help it. All right, I'm going back to basics, guys, because it needs to be said and nobody else is saying this right now. Should not have invested if you haven't got an emergency fund. If you are invested and you don't have an emergency fund, I would strongly suggest you get on to trying to build yourself an emergency fund. The stock market is always going to be there. FOMO is one hell of a drug. And I've spoken about FOMO in a number of my videos. This is what drives people to do stupid things and irrational things. The fear of missing out. So please make sure you have these foundations in place. Good control of your day-to-day money. Make sure you got an emergency fund. You got those 2 things in place. Sweet. You can afford to invest knowing that actually the markets are volatile. You're not having to worry. The whole point of having an emergency fund, though, is that if you need money, you haven't got to use credit cards, overdrafts, personal loans, things that will cost you more money, interest, getting into debt. That's the last thing you actually want to do. All right. So please just be mindful of that. The other thing that is also worthwhile bearing in mind is, you need to understand investment theory around investment timelines. If you're investing for a year or two, is not long enough. Stay out of the market because you're going to get burnt. You're going to get burnt if you're not careful. Really, to be invested in the market, you need to have at least a minimum term of 3 years. And even then, the risk is pretty high. It's very, 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 very high. So please be mindful of that. This is the kind of stuff that I've spoken about in my course. Now, I get slated for selling a course on my channel. It's $59.99, not 300 quid, 200 quid. I have people message me all the time saying they bought a course for like 200-300 quid and it was absolute garbage. My course is $59.99. It covers a lot of the basics that you need to know. If you don't know the basics, that is worthwhile you taking, because now more than ever, I talk about investor psychology. That is so appropriate right now if you're a first-time investor. So, guys, those are just a couple of things that I think are really, really important. I wasn't intending to take any questions on this, but I am quite concerned, particularly because of the message that I've got over the last maybe 2 to 3 weeks, where people are cashing in investments, panicking, realizing, I realized I didn't know as much as I thought I did. No, I panicked. I didn't know if I made the right choice, so I've come out. Luckily, some people have come out at a profit. Some people have taken a loss. I have to ask myself whether I'm adding to the confusion. And that's why I want to go on record to actually state this, because this is really, really, really important, guys. It is really, really important. The last thing I want is for anyone to follow my channel, invest, lose money, and then think, I wish that I'd known this. Hindsight is a beautiful thing, right? Hindsight is a great thing. It's fantastic. But what we're trying to do with the education that we're trying to provide here and all the videos, what they're designed to do is give you information so you can make the best choice possible. Content and context. There is so much content out there at the moment on YouTube, on Instagram, on TikTok. So much content. You could drown in this stuff, but not a lot of the context. And that's what I try to deliver via the channel. And I know that sometimes my videos are way, way longer than the normal. The reason why they're longer is because you need the context to understand how things operate within certain parameters and nuances. That's why I create longer form content, because I think it's really, really important for people to understand. Thank you for that super chat, KV. Really do appreciate it. Thank you very much. So guys, look, please be careful. Please, especially on the crypto space now, because I know that many people will begin, apparently because Doge has made a millionaire this week, or last week, I should say. People are really on Doge right now. And the guys who want to scam you out of your money via crypto trading, they are at it right now because they see it as an opportunity. Hence why I have someone posing to be me. Okay? You need to be vigilant. You need to pull up your pants and really, really, really start to ask questions. If something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. Don't take misinformation, sidestepping your questions for an answer. You need to be really, really clear on what you want, guys, your goals. Why are you doing this? Are you doing it to get rich, or are you doing it to have a better life? Being rich doesn't mean a better life. I know plenty of rich people who have horrible lives because they're in freaking debt all the time. People who earn really good money, massive credit card debt, not a penny to their name because they spend all their money. It's not what you earn and what you make. It's what you can retain and what you do with it. If there's anything that I've tried to kind of preach on this channel, it is that fact. Money is a tool. Life is for living. Money is all about enriching the life that you want, delivering the lifestyle that you want. It doesn't mean you have to be rich. It doesn't. Nothing to say, there's nothing wrong with you wanting to be rich. But some people will say, well, I want £1 million or 10 million quid in the bank. Okay, what are you going to do when you have 10 million quid in the bank? What are you going to do with it? Most people don't even know if you ask them that question. The amount of clients that I've sat down and had this same conversation with. And when you really get down to, well, what does it actually mean for you to have the life that you want? It has nothing to do with 10 million quid in the bank. It's more about family, balance, experiences. Those things cost money. When you add those things up, it doesn't have to add up to 1 million quid or 10 million quid. A lot of the time, it adds up to a lot less than what people originally think it's actually adds up to. And yes, it's nice to have the additional money. But what I'm trying to say here is do not let people on social media influence you into stupid things because that's all you're focused on. Particularly if you're 24, 25, watching this channel, you're in your late teens or early teens. I mean, I've got 15, 16-year-olds watching this channel. Do not buy into this narrative. Time is your friend. As long as you invest early and you take the right decisions, make the right choices, you will be fine. But please do not lead with FOMO, fear of missing out, and make irrational decisions because of what you're hearing on social media, hype groups, pumping Dogecoin, SafeMoon, and all these other cryptos. Don't listen to that sort of stuff. If you want to make a quick buck, that's fine. That's not my style, though. And maybe I'm coming at it from a very different perspective because I've got experience and I've got hindsight. I just hope, and I know this is very, very unpopular. This is very, very different to what you're watching on YouTube, but I don't care. I'm not here for popularity. I'm not here to win a popularity contest. I'm here so that people can gain the benefit of my experience through 15, 16 years. And trust me, I have seen and witnessed my fair share of scams throughout those years. Scams that just tend to reinvent themselves, but fundamentally they work exactly the same thing. They appeal to people's greed. They appeal to people's laziness. They appeal to the need to want that instant gratification and do nothing for it. All of them have, through history, all the way up until today. And that's what we're seeing right now. To the point I've got a dickhead, and I shouldn't swear, but I'm pissed off anyway, on my on Instagram, pretending to be me, potentially damaging my brand and my image for nefarious reasons. That really narks me. Really, really, really narks me. So please be careful. And you've heard it here from the horse's mouth. If you're getting DMs, you're getting messages, you're seeing comments on YouTube, and it's saying conversation of money, and on YouTube specifically, conversation of money is not highlighted, it is not me. If you're getting messages on Instagram from conversation of money or someone that seems to be me, please use some common sense. If you're following me, message me, tell me. I will never DM you. I don't DM anybody promoting crypto, investment companies, or anything. I do a lot of lives. You can come to me directly. You know where we are. We're based in the UK. I'm not going to ask you to join a Telegram group with a +1 United States number or phone Timbuktu or Nigeria. I'm not going to do that. Okay? Yes, I have affiliates on this channel. Coinbase, eToro, Free Trade, Trading 212, Fineco Bank, Money Farm. I only promote companies that are legitimate entities, most of which are authorized and regulated by the Financial Conduct Authority. Why? Because you get some consumer protection. I'm not going to endorse, work with, or suggest anything otherwise. Why? Because I've been in the industry for 16 years and I understand how this works. Okay? So please, 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 please be careful. Please be vigilant. Try and keep your sane hat on, because trust me, if things continue to go as they are, there are going to be more people just selling the dream and all this kind of stuff. And frankly, it needs to stop. Social media needs to do more about this kind of stuff, because it still boggles my mind how someone can create a duplicate YouTube account called Conversation of Money and can create an Instagram account called Conversation of Money, albeit with 2 T's, and Instagram allows them to just download and upload content. It mind boggles. But anyway, there we go. I wasn't intending on taking any questions to this. There's quite a few comments in here. I appreciate you guys for being here. And I appreciate you guys as well for always watching the videos and commenting and stuff like that. I do want to do more live streams. here on the channel. Maybe talk a little bit more about the markets as we get into this volatility, as things get a little bit more difficult. The only thing I can say, guys, is if you're in this for the long term, right now does not matter. It's a bump in the road. The long-term picture is what you should focus on. I know that that's really, really hard and counterintuitive, and you're fighting your better nature. I speak a lot about loss aversion in the course. Again, that's $59.99. If you've not taken it, it's worth the investment. Just go and take it, get the basics that you need, particularly if you don't know and you haven't done your research and you're still kind of stumbling in the dark. The amount of questions that I get from people and comments that I get from people saying, I started this and I asked a question, well, did you do this? And it's like, no, you're stumbling around in the dark. You could step on a knife for all you know. You could have stepped on a knife for all you know, because you've not done the research, because you just don't know what's going on, because you're listening to so much noise. So look, I talk a lot about loss aversion. It's natural. It's natural to want to cash in your investments now if you're panicking. It is completely natural. But hopefully, if you're investing for the long term, you recognize that this is only a blip in the road. It is inconsequential. It does not matter in the big scheme of things. But guys, all right, there it is right there. Appreciate you. Next video is going to be on Friday. I might do a live stream sometime midweek as well. I'm not sure when. I do have some stuff on Amazon FBA coming next week as well. So if you're looking to generate and build a side hustle, a side business, we're joining forces with another YouTube channel that specializes in that. And it's not an American channel that's going to give you all of this rubbish spiel about how easy it is and stuff. No, this is reality check. It's going to take work. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take effort. But it is achievable if you do the right thing. So they're going to be talking about that next Tuesday. But guys, thank you so much for watching. Remember, money is a tool. Life is for living. Do not get caught up in the hype. Keep it real and just take care of yourselves. Cheers.